This is Francesco Abruzzino with the Uncensored Report, and I want to talk a little bit about dissent and how it will soon become unthinkable. Freedom of speech, freedom of talk, freedom of thought will become unthinkable. And this is all due to some legislation that came out late on Friday, where Obama signed into law the 2017 National Defense Authorization Act, NDAA. Basically allocates about $611 billion over to the military. Obama said it's needed for what's happening over in Europe with ISIS and stuff, and also because a lot of the he hopes that the new legislation will reduce wasteful overhead within the military and the modernization of the military healthcare system. But there was some other stuff that was buried deep into it, which is leading a lot of individuals out there to call it the de facto ministry of truth. And basically, with this legislation, it curtails the freedom of press. It's another avenue to basically solidify avenues of accurate information out there. Basically, they want to shut everything down so that the only information being disseminated is the information that they're pushing, the fake news, essentially. And what they want to do is they want to go out there and pinpoint the disinformation, analyze the data, in somewhat are calling a dystopic manner, where they develop and disseminate their fact-based narratives to counter the propaganda that they call the fake news, alternative news. But basically what the government wants to do is crack down on anything, any form of communication that is putting out information that is not in line with their school of thought. It chips away at press liberties throughout the United States. It essentially sets up the stage for future witch hunts to shut down websites that are not in line with government's thought, government's propaganda. It wants to basically get out there and spread disinformation, propaganda. You know, you had some papers come out, papers like the Washington Post, basically coming out and equating the Russian propaganda and fake news as the same piece. This is owned by Jeff Bezos. He's got that $6 billion contract with the CIA. He's an ultra-liberal, owns Amazon. And the U.S. media has indoctrinated the public, basically out there, to assume that any information which is not in compliance with the story they're putting out, the official government narrative, or anyone that dares to criticize establishment, is considered as deemed fake news, or what they're now calling Russian propaganda. And it's all part of this ministry of truth and how it has officially come to fruition out there. And where you're going to see that dissent will become unthinkable. And it's going to become more dangerous to speak out. Americans may see the real tyranny take hold when you're at home within this deep state. Basically, they're going to come out and wage a war against your constitutional rights, your financial independence, the rugged individualism that you've been allowed to have with freedom. It's all going to be curtailed. Speaking out will become dangerous. It will be frowned upon. And this is time when you'll start to see people that just disappear. You're going to see it a lot digitally too, with websites. You know, my Uncensored Report just disappears, goes away. Where'd it go? Nobody knows. You might see a major event that might take place over the next few years. Who knows? An event that will justify some type of level of action to go out and make raids, round up people, take those patriots that they hate so much, put them away. Prominent voices, alternative media, shut them down, lock them up. And a lot of that's going to happen online, where it's occurring now, on social media forums, on the internet. Shut them down. They've been outlawed. Opinions are no longer warranted. They don't want them. We need to re-educate the populace. Get them off the internet. Can't allow them to watch or listen or read sites that go against the government narrative. Reprogram their minds, just like they do with the TV and the flicker rates. We're going to use algorithms, which they're doing now. Some are using algorithms to censor people who dissent. I had it occur just on my national page that was shut down. They use algorithms, and basically if people keep reporting it, they shut it down, and you can't say anything about it. Tough luck, get lost is all they'll tell you. Still fighting that cause. You'll see individuals, they'll be in the news labeled as a domestic, a terrorist or something, because they are not spilling out that bleached public opinion that the government wants out there. They want us to go through, they only want information that's been washed, rinsed, bleached. That's the objective of the CIA. Government agencies. It's been that way for years. You got television programming out there, radio broadcasts, leafletting, all kinds of forms of propaganda that are being disseminated and routinely carrying out that pro-state message. And that's what they want. They want us to. They want everything to be controlled in that manner. They have that Overton window out there. You guys have probably all heard about that. The public perceives that it's been offered multiple choices. Individual members may be out there of the public, and they take stake in whichever view best fits theirs. But they lack that perception, the perception of the shifts in the direction that the window has taken. And the biggest shift being that Overton window is happening right here on social media, where you see most of my material. Facebook, Google, they're leading that charge. They're hiring the hit teams, the Snopes of the world. And we all know, you saw my rant on them, to go out and do the flagging. Questioning credentials, wondering if you should be allowed to get out there and post information. Outlawing dissent, outlawing independence. It's going to all be ferreted out now. More people will try living off the grid, but soon that'll be criminalized, as it is in many places, or it'll be discouraged upon. So they'll round you up. Speech will be flagged as dangerous. Arrest will be made in conjunction with some type of domestic dispute. You're a noisy neighbor. False reports, database pings. We're all in those databases. You know, patriots, they'll be marked as suspicious because they're out there with their own thoughts. You know, the databases, I said, Americans are in them all the time. They have this code name for them, the main core. And it's out there. They say there's about 8 million people. It's for your protection, right? A lot of people are out there. What can we do? What can we do to get off this radar, to get off the government's radar, to be protected? Identity protection. You know, that's going to be crucial with technology. It's going to be hard to protect your ID out there. But if you wanted to be totally protected from the system, best of luck. It's going to be difficult. You got 30 million plus surveillance cameras throughout the United States. The average American is in 200 databases out there. Think about it. How are you going to disappear? It's virtually impossible. Police now consider common activities as suspicious. Fusion centers, we got what, 70 plus fusion centers out there for surveillance of the public, of the populace? So the key there is less interface with technology, the better. But good luck with that, since technology is such an integral part of our lives anymore. So in the next few years, you're going to have to sit out there. You're going to have to be careful. You're going to have to use less technology. You're going to have to not dissent. You're not going to be allowed. You shouldn't be out there vocal, speaking about what you want. Freedom will not be compatible with the digital control out there. You'll need to endure in ways that outthink the constraints that the government has placed upon you. And it's not going to happen. But essentially, that whole NDAA basically takes away a lot of the freedoms. It's going to take away a lot of the information. People are not going to want to get it out there anymore. And that's why it should concern you. So look it up. Check it out. He signed it on Friday. And see how it curtails your freedoms, how it's going to censor, how it's going to take away a lot of the freedom of the press. so that you're only getting that government message, that narrative that they want pushed out. This has been Frankie Abruzzino with the Uncensored Report.